Hello, 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 beautiful souls. I welcome you as every week. It's your show host, Regina Huber from Transform Your Performance with the same website, transformyourperformance.com, live from Miami Beach, Florida, United States. Yes, I'm still here. But as I told you already, I did book some flights for end of June and to two different destinations on two different continents. So stay tuned. I'm going to tell you more about that. My eclectic life and experience on 5 continents has allowed me to become a multicultural, transformational leadership coach and inspirational speaker. And I have also written a book, Speak Up, Stand Out, and Shine. It's on Amazon. You can find it there. During my travels and life on different continents, I have seen an infinite variety of brilliance, distinctive uniqueness, as I call it in my work, in people all over the world. So I've made it my mission for this show to inspire you, to ignite a flame wherever your path leads you, and to fuel that flame inside of you and really turn it into a strongly burning fire so you can shine your brightest light and increase your influence and impact, and in this way also influence and impact your income, especially your impact as a value-driven leader. As you know by now, if you've watched the show before, value-driven leadership is very, has a special place in my heart, you could say. And it's really key and essential for humanity and for us humans moving forward in the right direction. So this value-driven leadership can, of course, look different for every single person that is watching us. But what we all of you need to be is to be bold. And that's why we're here today, to inspire you to be bold and to really live your leader purpose. And today, I'm especially delighted to introduce you to my guest, Anjue Hirachund. And please pronounce the name again for us, Anjue, because I actually never asked you about how. We've had several conversations, but I never asked you how to pronounce your last name. So I'm doing my best here, but it might just not be perfect. So please correct me for a moment before I introduce you.
Oh, you are just perfect the way you are, Regina. My surname is Hirachund, and I go by Anjue H for those who get tongue twisted with that.
Okay, so Anjue, so Hirachund wasn't so far away. It was
no, well done.
Okay, so Anjue Hirachund started her career as a chemical engineer and ended her 26-year tenure in corporate as CEO of a company. She is a founder and CEO of So-Hum Academy. That means I am, as far as I know. And so it's So-Hum Academy, and has taken on the role of business consultant and executive coach. She helps corporates to advance their diversity initiatives by assisting in developing and implementing strategies to help them increase female representation in their top leadership positions. As an executive coach, she helps women in leadership roles transition from being stressed, frustrated, and feeling devalued in their work environment to becoming more confident and successful in their careers. Anjue is passionate about being at the forefront of the new global narrative that women do not have to take on the masculine role to achieve success. Absolutely not, I agree. Her message is that women can advance to the next level using their own feminine energy and power. Anjue also just recently launched a summit that I was delighted to be interviewed for. Anjue, tell us the name of the summit, and we're going to talk about that a little later, a bit more.
So the theme of the summit, the name is Unlock the Secret to Success in the Boardroom. And during the summit, Regina, we bring on experts in the environment that have been in the corporate environment, that have gone through some of the challenges that most men and women, but more especially women, experience as they move through the corporate ladder, moving from one level of leadership to the next. And we've come together to basically empower our audience with strategies that they can use in their immediate environment to be able to move beyond their challenges and become more confident, become more successful, and at the end of the day, become more happy. Because what we find is that, especially as women, we aim to achieve success, and at the same time, we tend to neglect other areas of our lives. So we try and bring strategies to everyone to be able to find that balance in their lives. Something that you tend to focus on much later, when you can start focusing on it much earlier in your career and in your life.
Yeah, I love that. And to me, actually, I think true success is only when you actually have that fulfilled life with it, right? Because otherwise it's just a piece of success. It's not really being happy with your success. So what that, then it's not the full picture of what we want, right? So I really love that you're doing that. And we had a lovely experience also chatting on that recording. It should be aired soon. We'll talk more about that offline later, but just for our audience so that they know that this is about to be published. And later on, toward the end of the show, you can also tell us how they can find it. Okay, so let me ask with one of my favorite, start with one of my favorite questions for the show particularly. And the question is, what's your unique, special spark?
My spark is no doubt my positive attitude, Regina. I think having come from so many different, not just challenges, but stages and phases of my life, the one thing that has always kept me moving forward has been my positive attitude and my energy that goes with it. And so many people tell me, where do you get that from? But I must admit that that's what keeps me going. And I continue to remain positive no matter what happens around me.
Wow, I love hearing the two words in one sentence, energy and attitude. You know what that reminds me of? I just recently wrote an article about executive presence where I said it's about many things, but mainly it is about energy and attitude. So that's why I love hearing those two things, in the same, those two concepts in the same sentence. So thank you for mentioning that. And yes, I can absolutely also see that in you. And that's why it's so beautiful to have this conversation with you here today and to also present it to our viewers and share with them some of that energy and attitude spark that you so beautifully represent. It's it's what keeps us going every day. It's what inspires others to keep going, and that's what we are here for. Now,
absolutely.
Yes. So how would you say does your spark relate to leadership?
So for me, leadership is being able to not just lead the way, but be able to harness the potential, the skills of those that come in, that follow you or that are you in your, when I speak of the corporate environment, I always speak of, people within your department or your division. But, as a leader, you can be a leader in so many areas of your life. And that could be in your career, it could be in your personal life, in your community, in your social circles. So for me, that positive energy is to say, when there is something that you are experiencing, what is the positive that you can take from that? I mean, it's so easy to default to the negative. And if you understand, if we can go back to that discussion we've had about success a few minutes ago, if you have a clear understanding of what success means to you, you'll realize that you can only achieve that level of success is if you have a positive attitude towards everything that happens around you. Because so often we don't realize that if we understand what success means to us, then we'll be making decisions and choices that are aligned to that success, to achieving that level of success. And if we can make those decisions and those choices with a positive attitude, looking at if something does not go the way we planned, if somebody does not respond the way we expect them to respond, don't default to the negative. Always look at what is the positive that I can take from this? What is that learning that I can take from this the result from this particular action or activity. And in that way, you keep moving forward. If not, you're going to regress and move backward.
Absolutely. Alignment is a key word.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yes. Alignment is absolutely a key word here, right? I mean, it means different things maybe to different people, but it's really also alignment to your values. It's alignment to, yeah, what do you really want? Yes. Oftentimes we do things or we pursue directions that are not really for us because we think we should want them, or we are, you know, told by others that we should want it, rather than listening to ourselves and to our inner being, and really do that soham, you know, breathing, where yes, where we listen deep inside and say, okay, what is it that I really want? What is that desire that I have? Go ahead.
And I think, you know, alignment, especially in terms of having a clear identity of who you are and what you want to achieve. What exactly is your purpose? And, you know, I always share this example with my clients and with my audience around the world to say, just a simple example, Regina, if I say to you, I'm a vegetarian, you know, it's the easiest example I can use. And if you had to offer me, let's say, a juicy beef burger with all of the extras, and so immediately I can say no, because I know I identify as a vegetarian. But if I don't have a clear identity of who I am and what's my purpose, I'm going to be, oh, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, yes, let me, or no, I don't. So you're not able to make a clear, concise decision or a choice. But as soon as you have identity and you understand who you are and what you stand for, you are able to make decisions much quicker, and you are able to progress to your next level much quicker as well. So that's the importance of having alignment, understanding what your starting point is in terms of what it is you want to achieve that's aligned to your purpose, to your goals in life, and then make decisions that are aligned accordingly. So alignment is just key across your journey, throughout your journey.
Yes, absolutely. So you might sometimes have to take your own food to the braai, as you say in South Africa, right? To the barbecue, yes. The braai. I totally, yeah, I do remember a few words like load shedding. Sorry, it's a real word. I did not invent it.
Load shedding.
It's called load shedding, right? When you have like power outages. Yes, and the shop. I was always so confused by that. I want to throw this in because I would go into a shop, and yes. I would always hear shop, and I said, okay, yes, I'm here to shop.
Well, I like that you remember. Yeah, the lingo here in South Africa.
So funny. I was like, what are they saying? Yes, I'm going to shop. give me a minute. Right. So that's so funny. Yeah. So, but back to our topic, right? Yeah. So, I still have this scene in my mind, you know. I just have to laugh so much about it. Anyway,
I can imagine.
So, yeah. So, how would you say did you find your spark?
I think for me, it's a little bit of a sad story, Regina. You know, I lost since 1998 up until 2007. I lost my younger sister, and she was 15 at the time. And then a few years later, I was pregnant with twins, and I lost them. And then a year later, I lost my dad. And then 2 years later, I lost my only brother. So I went through a period of, you know, questioning what is the purpose.
I actually think we might have a little case, hopefully it's temporary, of the famous South African load shedding here. Again, I did not invent that word. but it's what it's called. I'm hoping we are getting Anjue back. We had a very good connection the other day throughout our interview. So I'm hopeful. Hopefully it's just a moment. And yeah, so while she is coming back, I just want to tell you that little episode. So I was actually asking this assistant in the store, what do you mean? Yeah, I'm here to shop. What do you mean? Is it not quick enough? I was laughing at the same time, but I was just so surprised until I noticed that it was just a way to greet each other. Is everything? It's like saying, "Are you okay?" or or "How is it going?" Something like that, right? Or "How are you?" So they say, "Shop, shop." We have so many interesting language details, everywhere we travel, and it's just always amazing and fascinating to observe that, right? Yes, I do hope we can get her back. Otherwise, I'll have to just tell you a few more anecdotes from my South African visits, and that is just fine. I am just sorry that you might not see her and experience more of Anjue, because she has tremendous wisdom to share. And I was really looking forward to also chatting with her after the official version of this program today. But yes, I can tell you a few stories from South Africa. So in the past few years, I have spent probably a total of 5 months in South Africa, if not more. The first time I was there for just like 10 days. And I was staying, in the business area, and I was there for a conference. I was just coming down from Ghana, actually, where I did a project with women to prepare them for job interviews. And I came to speak at a conference in Johannesburg. Now, during that trip, I also had a chance to visit Maboneng, and I fell in love with Maboneng. I went there, and they were doing like salsa and kizomba dance afternoons on Sundays at one of the outdoors spaces. It was like a bar, and it was outdoors. It was beautiful. And so I really loved that area. It was very artsy, very artistic, lots of artists selling their pieces, their art pieces, their artwork, and their jewelry and paintings and whatnot, right? And clothes. Very lively during the weekend for sure. And lots of local people also go there on the weekends. I think we have her back, so she's coming back. So I'm just going to finish this story real quick. So I know I have to bring her back here. Give me 1 second, please. Thank you so much for your patience. Okay, Anjue, we have you back, but I was just quickly telling a story. Sorry?
I don't know what happened. Gremlins in the system, it just went dead.
Load shedding.
It's not. That's the thing. And I'm like, no, there's no load shedding today.
Well, technology, it's fine. We cannot plan for everything. We are not, we are perfect as we are, as you said before. So I'll take that, and I know that, and we'll just do our best. So I was just finishing this story real quick. So this is how I first went to Maboneng. And the next time I went back to Johannesburg, I actually decided to stay in Maboneng at an Airbnb. And then whenever I went back to Maboneng, and I had the greatest time there. I met this guy who took me on a walk all the way to, and you may know where that is, the drill hall. And it's you're not supposed to walk there by yourself. And most of my local friends in Johannesburg have never even been there, but it was a great adventure, and I saw so many parts of Johannesburg that I would never ever have seen on my own. It was definitely, it's an entire story that's going to go also into my book, my next book that I just started writing. I'm not going to tell you everything about that right now because we have our beautiful guest back, but this is how my South Africa adventures started. So I've always spent most of my time in Johannesburg, but also some time in Durban and surroundings and some other places north of Johannesburg, as well as Cape Town at some point. But yeah, we have you back. So we're going to go on with our conversation. Welcome back. I hope we can stay on.
Apologies again.
As I said, it's we are leaders. We just make the best of it, and we just play with whatever happens. Right? We're just actually talking about this. When you experience adversity, you make the best of it. You take a chance. You see the opportunity of it and in it, and you run with it. Right? And that's what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so. Let's go back to my questions for you. So I asked you what your spark had to do with leadership. We talked about how you found it. You were telling us your story, a very emotional story about your family members that you lost. And if you want to pick it up where you left it off.
Yeah, so I think what I did, with especially when we got to my brother, because he literally passed on in his sleep.
Wow.
And so at that time, because of the losses that I've had over the number of years, I found myself questioning the purpose of this life, wanting to understand, then what is the purpose if all of these people that you love so dearly just leave or transition. And then I found myself really trying to figure out, okay, what then is my purpose? What is going to give me that energy to move forward? Because I am an individual. Each of us come here with a specific plan and purpose. So I was trying to figure that out for me. And I think it led me to then leaning on to what is it that I'm passionate about that will help to not forget about my tragedies that have happened or the traumatic experiences in my own life, but how can I, through the empowerment of others, through having a positive impact in the lives of others around me, I can start to pick myself up again. And that's exactly what I did. And that was the time when I realized that I want to make that positive impact. So everybody that comes in contact with me and everybody around me just has a positive, or I have a positive impact or contribution to make in their lives, so that they leave feeling better or having something more than they originally had. So I think that was the time in my life that really had me asking so many questions and trying to understand what is my way forward. And I think when we get to that point, it is at that point that you realize that you need to understand what does it mean for you to be successful, firstly, but what is your passion and what is your purpose in this lifetime?
Yeah, I love it. There's so much I could say about this. So first of all, I did a webinar in the past with somebody that was actually called that passion, purpose, profits, the 3 P's, right? Yeah, that is so very true.
It's like, for me, it was turning your pain into purpose, taking that pain, and how do you basically derive your purpose from that. And through that purpose, you're able to, for me, profit in terms of seeing a positive impact in the world from what you can do. So I agree with the 3 Ps.
Yeah, I also believe that we live our experiences for a reason, and we're supposed to do something with them. And we came here for a reason. We knew that it wasn't going to be easy, that it was going to be challenging, although it's supposed to be easier in some respects, and we unlearned how to make it so, because they didn't teach us that at school, and sometimes our parents didn't know better either. So we are catching up as adults and learning what we can and changing what we can. Also, what you said earlier, that reminds me of what Bob Proctor says in his work. He says, like, leaving everybody with an impression of increase, to really leave that positive footprint wherever you go, or fingerprint or whatever, and leave a legacy of that type. It doesn't always have to be a huge, famous personality legacy thing, right? It can be completely different. Each of us does it in their own way, and that's how it's exactly meant to be. Yes.
That's it. And I think it's such an opportune time now, Regina, with us just moving beyond the pandemic and the lockdown, where so many people lost loved ones, lost families. And then these are the individuals that really need to know that there is life beyond what had happened, beyond that pain that you've been going through. And you're not alone in all of that. No matter what challenge you have, there's someone who has experienced exactly that, if not worse. So don't think that you are alone. Understand that there are people who have been through that and can help you, can support you to move beyond those challenges.
Yeah, and these things, they happen all the time. They happen, at any given time, and we're not always prepared for it. When my dad passed on, I mean, he had an accident, a fatal accident. So, nobody was prepared for it at all. He was also quite young. He was not 15 years old, but still, in our understanding, he was too young to leave us. And it's always very painful. It's painful for us that are left behind. But also, of course, we need to realize that the souls have chosen their moments to move on, and this has been their way, although it might not have been our preferred way or time. It's still, we need to find a way to make peace with it and go through that grieving process as well, for sure. It's part of who we are as humans, but then also find back to ourselves, right?
Yeah, and that what you said about leaving your legacy becomes so relevant and so important, because then you think about, okay, what is the legacy I want to leave behind when I transition, and how do I do that? And it becomes so much more interesting, and then you find your energy coming back when you realize now you have a purpose again.
Right. Yeah. So we have 2 minutes left. So I want you to quickly tell us where people can find you and where also they can find your summit, our summit, because I was a part of it.
Our summit, yeah. So you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm Anjue Hirachund. You can also find me on Instagram at Soham Academy, SO_HAM, HAM_Academy. And then you can watch out for the links that Regina and I will be sharing both on Instagram and on LinkedIn to be able to register for the Unlock the Secret to Success in the Boardroom, where once again we'll be bringing, it's just over 22 experts in the corporate environment who have had experience in the corporate environment that are bringing you strategies, that are bringing you tools to help you to advance in your career, especially if you occupy a leadership role in the corporate environment, and to help you to really move beyond any challenge, no matter what your challenge may be, to be able to still achieve your success, achieve happiness, but become the trailblazer that you were born to be. And I'd like to leave everyone with that.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. You summarized it perfectly. And I'm assuming the Soham Academy is the vegetarian kind, not the ham for the braai.
No.
We're on a fun
we
vibe
cater for everyone.
Anyway, all right. So so thank you again, Anjue. This has been wonderful. Thank you for being a guest here. It's been lovely speaking with you. It's been enlightening as always, and I look forward to seeing the summit myself. I also hope to see you all again next Wednesday, same time, same place, when I will have another super cool guest again. In the meantime, as always, remember to keep shining in your brightest light, sparkle away like the precious pearl you are, because the world is your oyster.
Okay.